Have you ever had a no kissing rule? Why is it such a hot topic? Plus, we are going to show you how you can honor someone else's rule without assigning shame or judgment.
If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to smash the like, share, and subscribe buttons, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on our latest steamy episodes. You should also check out the podcast because we have sexy extra content that you won't get here on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and all of our social media. You can find all our links on swingeruniversity.com. And of course, we love getting questions from our audience, and you can leave us a voicemail at 916-538-0482 or contact us at swingeruniversity.com. Tell us your name, age, and where you live, or you can be anonymous.
If you're a super fan of our show, consider supporting us on Patreon. As a member, you'll have access to exclusive content that's even hotter than what we share on the podcast. So come join our naughty community. We promise you won't regret it.
Here's a question from one of our listeners. We are new to the lifestyle and have had a few encounters. One of our rules is no kissing, except for my wife can kiss another female. One time when we explained this to another couple, they didn't understand why and said it's unusual. How do others in the lifestyle feel about kissing? Are we the weird ones?
We surveyed the swinger community, about 386 individuals, to gain their insights into the positive and negative aspects of swinging, and we are going to read some of those comments to you. What was surprising to us was there were 3 times more negative comments than positive ones. We were also surprised to see that they were mostly judgmental with some shame. Now, this survey went all over the US, so it was a sampling of all the communities, not just our area. And the reason I say that is because we haven't experienced a lot of judgments or shame in our community.
Right.
A little bit recently, I'm starting to notice I do not see and have not seen it to this degree.
Yeah, and it's interesting in interactions, direct interactions with people, we haven't seen very much in the way of shaming. I think some of this is keyboard safety, and people get behind their keyboard. They have the anonymity of the internet, and they kind of let their bad inner child speak out.
Right.
And that's unfortunate.
Surveyed, and they just, well, but see, that's, and they let their honesty out. Yeah, but you know, hey, it's the inner voice coming out.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It is their inner voice coming out, but at the same time, it's interesting. It's interesting because you and I think of this as sex positivity and the whole lifestyle being all about sex positive. So to hear almost any kind of negative commentary feels kind of counterintuitive to what the whole point of being sex positive is.
Correct. And it was to the degree that I decided, why don't people like kissing?
Right.
And I thought, well, gosh, maybe let's step into the shoes of the person that doesn't like being kissed. Is there more than just the rule that we had in the beginning, which was,
Ed, stop making out with the lady right. for at least 15 minutes so that you can breathe. Yeah, that rule.
We had that no kissing rule briefly, and we'll get into that, but it was quickly changed for us, and we'll describe that later.
Right.
So let's read some of these comments so everyone knows what we're talking about. So we're going to read the negatives first, and then we'll read the positives, but beware, there's
it's a lot of negative.
3 times more. And I pared them down, honestly.
Right. This isn't all of them. This is a select few.
Yeah. I'm not going to bend your ear with all the, yes, this is a select few. Okay. So, do you want to start with the first one?
Sure. It's too weird not to kiss. It's natural to do. So a little bit of judgy, a little bit of shaming.
Yeah. Stick a penis in me, both vaginally and orally. It's way more personal than kissing.
Which is semi-debatable, but true and not. And yeah,
And we're going to go into why that's different.
exactly. I tend to stay away from people with rules. Too risky if something goes wrong. And of course, our point with that is
Wow.
they're going to miss out on a lot of stuff.
You're going to miss out on a lot of cool shit. People with rules kill moods.
Yeah, a little judgy. Yeah.
I'm not really sure what to do with that one.
Right.
And I probably should just refrain with no
We'll
comment.
just leave it at that. Yeah. It's a red flag and a jealousy issue. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
How do you know?
Right. That's
Ours wasn't a jealousy issue.
no, there's a lot of assumptions there.
And we're going to have other reasons why a little bit later. So keep hanging in there. The next one, we are secure and not a jealous couple.
Okay. Another jealousy pointer.
Infers that if you're insecure, you're also jealous, and
right.
therefore you have to have a role.
We see no kissing as a red flag and indicates relationship issues. Maybe, maybe not. There's so many reasons.
My question was, so what? Are they going to like shoot you? Like what are
kind
you
of
afraid of? Are they going to
issues?
like,
Yeah.
like what? I can't imagine what would be the worst case scenario. What's the fear?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You get off the bed and move to the next room because they have some issue, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Most bizarre rule in the lifestyle, rules are drama.
Wow, that's pretty severe. Stop with the rules.
Okay. If sex can be sex, why can't kissing be kissing? I kind of
I have to translate that one in my head because I'm not even sure what they're.
well,
I guess if it's the phrase it's only sex,
Yes.
it's only kissing.
right.
I could
Exactly.
see that.
And I had this mental argument with myself early on, and I couldn't figure out why it was different. And I had to figure that out.
Well, we had the same argument going from soft swap to full swap, or not argument, conversation, mental, philosophical debate in our heads about, okay, why are we drawing the line?
Right. Because if the face is between my legs, how is the face? To me, the face is more intimate because you have eyes, you have the mouth.
Right.
Then
And
so
we're
how
already swapping partners. So what's the
difference between a
Different,
mouth and a penis?
right?
I know.
Sounds like a control issue.
No lips means no oral. I'm out. Which means
I'm not sure that's true of a no kissing rule, but okay,
we have.
maybe. I haven't heard of
You
the
just missed out on a
no
really
kissing
great
of the vagina,
opportunity.
but maybe it is. Okay.
So, a lot of, as you can tell, there's some shame and some judging and a lot of missed opportunities.
Yeah.
And so-
a lot of assumptions.
A lot of assumptions. So I thought, well, gosh, I really need to help educate the swinger community about this so that they can have
More fun.
more fun.
And
Don't let
relaxing.
the rule be in your way. Work with the rule, right?
We just call those constraints.
Yeah. All right. So here are some of the positive ones. I don't really like kissing as a whole unless it's someone I love. It would not affect me at all to not do it in the lifestyle or at a party.
The kiss is too sacred for me, and I like to save it for my partner.
I understand that. I only like how my partner kisses. He knows what I like. That does make sense.
Which does make sense. I have had the opposite of that
yes.
happen before.
Yes. And so we'll get into that. Okay. So those are some of the quotes.
Yeah. So let's just dig into this whole like no kissing rule in the swinger lifestyle. What is this?
Right. So new people who typically uses the rule? The new people, right?
Right.
And
right.
who else?
Well, and people who are potentially afraid of intimacy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
being too intimate with the casual sex partners.
Right. There is a group of people, the neurodivergent people, that have issues with that type of closeness. And we'll break that down as to what that element is for those individuals. And it'll
Interesting.
totally make sense. Then you have some people that have a kissing phobia. And I'm going to ask you to pronounce it because I haven't actually done that out loud yet.
Philemophobia people.
Yes. And then there's just people that just simply want the rule, period, for whatever reasons, right? That it's special to them and their partner. It makes them nervous. They want to they want to move in a different direction, whatever. It's their rule.
They've decided on that rule. And that's their rule.
That's their rule. And just some of the reasons and motivations behind the rule, there's some psychology, some biology, cultural differences, and personal experiences surrounding kissing. Let's get into the power of kissing.
Yeah, you and I are like big fans of kissing. Like,
yes.
We love kissing, making out. We even taught a class on kissing techniques at one of our conferences that we were at because we love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun. Kissing is so good.
Yes.
It does establish this connection, this intimacy. And I kind of spoke about that a little bit ago. And for us, it's this like chemical spark. It like kicks things off.
Mm-hmm.
From a biological standpoint, it releases oxytocin and neurochemicals. There's this whole foreplay arousal precursor for sex. So it kind of gets the juices going, both chemically, but also the mouth and
the nether region.
The other areas that get all stimulated and juicy.
Yes.
And there's another aspect of this, which is just pair bonding and nurturing. So that connection that you have, especially with long-term partners, that release of the oxytocin on a regular basis creates this bond, this almost a chemical neurological bond with your partner.
Right. So I kind of understand the quote with that's something I reserve special for my primary partner. I get it. It kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's very intimate.
I mean, it does make sense. I said kind of. It does. It does make sense to me. I got to researching as I do, and I thought, all right, how many nerve endings are in the lips? It's got to be way less than the clitoris and penis because I've already researched that. Oh my gosh. To my shocking surprise, lip sensitivity has about a million different nerve endings.
Wow.
Okay, so your lips are in the top 3 most sensitive parts of your body.
Okay.
Lips, fingertips, and tongue. And I think your fingertips and your tongue are more sensitive than your lips.
Makes sense.
Your clit's not in there and your penis isn't in there. Where do those fall?
Way down on the
list.
In the 8,000 nerve endings in the clitoris, and labia is less, and penis is about half of that. Now, these numbers are pseudo-scientific. They haven't really figured the exact quantity of nerves out. There's some research that's even calling into question the 8,000 nerves in the clitoris. But relatively speaking, there's a lot more nerve endings in the lips and the mouth. So
then my brain kind of goes to more sensitive, more intimate,
more stimulating.
So I could see how that might be a little more unsettling. And I will tell you why next, because as a woman, I can lay there and have someone penetrate me and just pretty much take a nap.
Sure. You could imagine you're someplace else.
I can imagine I'm somewhere else. You could be fucking me and I'm just like yawning, right?
Especially doggy style or something like that, you could be on your phone and they wouldn't even know it.
No, because doggy does nothing for me. I actually have pretty much no sensation in that position.
Right.
It provides no stimulation whatsoever. So the lips do, and it would be hard to fake a kiss, right? If you're kissing someone.
Right.
And if you don't want to kiss them back, you've got deadpan face, dead lips.
Right.
And
it's
like
pretty hard to fake a kiss.
Kissing a fish or a dead person.
Yeah.
It would be really weird. Someone would go in and they would stop immediately because you weren't kissing them back.
Yeah, the nonverbal signals would be a dead giveaway.
Right. So once again, more intimate with kissing, less intimate with sex.
Right. Makes perfect sense.
Okay. So when you're also kissing, we addressed the chemical and hormonal aspects that kicked off, and the nurturing. Oh, and the eyes.
Yes.
You get the eyes if you're, connecting.
Eye-open kissing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's very intimate.
Yeah, you are literally in someone's face. Like, you can't get any more in someone's face than kissing.
Hence the whole get out of my face, right? People get incensed. You're like, you're in my space. Get out of my face.
It's about as in someone's personal bubble as you can get.
Right. So we wouldn't have that comment, that phrase in our culture if it didn't really mean something. It's an intimate space.
Right.
Are the light bulbs going off, everybody, yet? So
one of the things that you run into with kissing, especially with new partners in the lifestyle, is incompatibility with kissing styles. So I've had partners who were either too aggressive or too distant, right? Like not into it enough, or just the whole hard mouthed, not really moving their mouth kind of a kiss. So everybody kisses a little bit differently.
Right.
And
just like they have sex differently.
Right. And some of those, and I'll actually say kissing is a more complex interaction than sex, because you can go harder, soft, slow, fast, and you can move in kind of different angles, but your lips, like you can create shapes, you can move your tongue, there's breathing, there's many different
lip biting. Yes. You're right. Way more techniques with kissing.
Yeah, it's a pretty complex series of motions to move your lips together. And I've had my fair share of incompatible kissing with people.
Right. And the other thing that might make, kissing uncomfortable for you is that it tends to have this lead up to sex.
Right.
So there's this expectation that if I kiss you and we get hot and heavy and the juices start flowing, that all of a sudden you think the next thing is sex.
Or I get so hot and bothered that I might not be able to resist wanting to go to that next step. And if I have another rule, which is no penetrative sex, but I'm all worked up because of the kissing, then it might be rougher. It might be harder for me to hold back.
Right. And then, of course, the intimacy and vulnerability of being in someone's face.
Yes.
And looking in their eyes, if you are.
Yeah. There's another aspect to this, and I'll just come out and say it, hygiene concerns. So bad breath, food, people have been drinking, smoking. So maybe you hook up with a couple that smokes and you're not really into smoking. You may not want to kiss them.
Right.
It's not for everybody. Some people are a little more sensitive to those smells and tastes. And just general hygiene, right? Like, how well are they taking care of
Did they have their
face?
6-month cleaning? Do they have any cavities? Can you smell them?
Yeah. All of that.
And then if you're a germaphobe, or even if you're not, I was actually kind of shocked.
We kind of sort of germaphobed for
I
a
did.
second. Yeah.
I did germaphobe up a little bit. 80 million bacteria can be exchanged in a passionate kiss that lasts more than 10 seconds.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And to be clear, the human mouth is not a particularly bacteria-free environment to begin with.
No.
It's kind of a dirty place.
No. So then I was like, holy shit. Okay, so if you kissed 10 people at a party, put your face in 5 pussies, and ate 3 cocks, can you imagine
The amount
of bacteria in your mouth?
It's a lot of bacteria.
Holy crap. So now your body has all this foreign bacteria to fight off. And I was thinking, oh my God, no wonder sometimes I don't feel so great the next day. It wasn't that I had too much to drink. My body's like, holy shit, what is all this bacteria in my body?
Bacteriological warfare going on.
Yeah. And then don't even get me started on the bacteria in your vagina and all the issues that might cause.
Right. And transmitting the bacteria from your mouth
to
the vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Okay. Germaphobe gone. Whew. Can't think about that. Gotta think about the good times. Shake it off. Shake it off. Cultural differences. Hello. Did we even think about that?
No. And some cultures don't recognize kissing, interestingly enough.
I know. Most cultures do here in the United States, but if you are from somewhere else maybe, and you're living here, maybe you don't.
But it's so the clear thing is it's not a universal thing. Like not everyone believes in kissing. So
correct. Or the importance of kissing, right? So the American Anthropological Association in 2015 did a study and found 45% of North American cultures do not kiss.
Wow.
Not even romantically or sexually.
So North America, that's Canada all the way south. To up to Central America.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Right? I was like, that is almost half.
It is almost half.
I'm really good at math. and the other reason was it's just gross or unpleasant.
Right.
Which kind of goes back to some of the differences of hygiene in different cultures. Maybe they don't have
good dental care.
Right? They don't get their teeth cleaned every 6 months because that's just not an option for them.
Could be that the food that they eat is just unpleasant to kiss because it's so particularly strong. Or aromatic.
It's really maybe like it's got a lot of curries or a lot of spices and
garlic. Who knows?
Yeah, right. It's very rich in flavor. And so you always have food breath.
We mentioned this a little bit ago about neurodivergent perspectives and kind of alternative forms of intimacy. So let's talk about how someone who is neurodivergent might be affected by kissing.
Right. Most neurodivergent people don't like kissing, and they prefer to express their affection and appreciation differently. And some of the ways they like to do that is a caress on the face with fingers. You can caress cheeks, lips, and noses, but not
that
with a kiss,
contact, yeah.
Not making out. And then other areas of the body are also exploratory, right? Because our skin is highly sensitive, right? So neck, back of the neck, which I actually really love. And honestly, it's almost as good as kissing because it gives me goosebumps all over my body.
Yeah, all the tingles.
All the tingles. The crook of the arm, back of the knees, spine, palms. So they like to focus on, other sensual areas of the body, which...
Right. So if you really have to kiss, but you don't want to kiss lip to lip, there are certainly other places that you could kiss.
Right? So if you can't kiss up, exactly what you said, to that guy's quote...
Right.
No kissing on the lips means no, I'm out. I'm like, wow, you could kiss all over someone's body.
There's
and
98% of the rest of the body you could kiss.
Oh yeah. If you didn't kiss my lips,
Then kiss my butt.
oh my gosh. You can kiss the back of my neck.
Right, that too. For those of you that don't want to opt for the face-to-face, lip-to-lip kiss, there's also something called the ocean kiss, where you stand very close to another partner's face and breathe deeply without allowing your mouths to touch. So it's almost a form of breath play.
Right. And this, of course, works well if you're comfortable with being, near someone who's kind of essentially breathing on you.
Right.
And you don't have issues with, breath odor.
Right. So definitely breath mint territory for this one.
So I could see when I'm kissing, I'm aware of breath odor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not aware of somebody breathing on me.
Right.
But I will say, when we're sleeping together and you're turned towards me and you're breathing on me and I haven't fallen asleep yet,
yes,
that bugs me.
Yeah, it's like the wind in your ear.
I'm like, what? What is that? Breeze. Ugh. The fear of kissing. You know how to say this.
Philomophobia.
I think you said it better before, but I will take
Actually,
it.
it may be philomophobia. It may be philomophobia. Anyway, we'll leave it at that.
It's the fear of germs, body odors, touch, fear of intimacy and vulnerability. Sometimes it's rooted in fear of rejection, not being enough, or disappointing or disgusting. People avoid it to prevent judgment, hurt, and rejection. And sometimes it's an unaddressed trauma.
Right. So people may be choosing to not kiss or have a no kissing rule because they have some deep-seated trauma that they're trying to not spoil the event
Right?
and ruin the evening by dredging all of that up.
I know. So here I was just in somebody else's shoes going, wow, I had no idea this could be a thing, but I still want to participate in swinging, but I can't kiss anyone because
Right.
I've got some unaddressed trauma. So we can't shame people like that because you never know what's going on with them.
You don't know
They're
the reason
not
why.
bad. They're not jealous. It's not a red flag issue. What is this? The Scarlet Letter?
Right.
I know.
Clearly, there's more than one reason why people don't have or have a kissing rule.
I mean, in a sense, I'm kind of judging the judgers. And I feel bad for that. I'm just passionate about
Yes.
educating people because I have been in this place like you so many times where I see something and I go, oh, me. And then I go, gosh, why do I feel like that? And I step out of my shoes and I do some research and I go, oh, totally get it.
Right.
And then I can be more inclusive and work with that situation rather than put up the hand and go, me. Right?
Here are some suggestions that can help you through some of these situations. So instead of assigning blame or judgment right away, let's start with asking some questions. You don't understand what their choice or rule is? Find out why they have that rule. You'll build a better connection with them and you'll have a better appreciation for what your boundaries are and what the possibilities are for the night. It creates an inclusive attitude, so those diverse preferences and choices, and it doesn't set them up for feeling weird because you're acting adversarial towards their choices. And remember that there's no universal right or wrong approach to kissing or not kissing or even how to play. And it promotes this honest communication within the swinger community, really trying to understand how other people play and why they play the way that they do. And as a swinger community, we should continue to embrace diversity and personal freedom. And that's the whole thing about sex positivity. Everybody's got a different thing. So we should try harder to try and understand what that thing is.
Right. So how does somebody go about navigating someone else's boundaries and getting consent around the no kissing rule?
Well, first, negotiate those agreed upon boundaries. So that conversation where you're having an understanding about what rules they have, you can say, well, then what is on the table? Or what are you into? What do you guys like to do?
Yeah. And I would even say, ask the question, what happens if I accidentally go for your lips and I kiss you on the lips? Will that be offensive? Because I'm really trying hard to honor your rule, but it is natural for me to want to go in for a kiss.
Right.
So if I do, how do we navigate that in the moment? Would you, is that going to ruin things? Talk about it, right? Just be honest.
Absolutely. Ask about other types of sensory play. So what kinds of touching and what kinds of contact are on the table and available.
Yeah.
And of course, what kinds of oral play are available? You want to kiss? Clearly you have an oral fixation of some sort. How else could that be satisfied?
Right. And get consent and then repeat back their wishes, of course.
Right.
And then remember that swinging is not always about penetration.
Or only about penetration.
Right. What is going to happen? And say you want to experiment with just tossing out the rule. How are you going to experiment with that? Like, how are you going to do this? Right.
Right.
And I would say interview the right couple.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about what you like and don't like. Pick a spot at a party that's quiet. Go slow. Don't go in for that epic makeout session. And then again, ask them what they like, what they don't like while you're kissing. So make it kind of fun. Make it
playful, exploratory, yeah.
or sexy or sensual. You're kissing and then you're like, did you like that?
Is that okay?
Is that okay? Would you like more? Right. That could be really hot and really sexy. And you could also practice watching with one another. And I did this in the beginning. I practiced watching you kiss somebody to just get desensitized or used to watching you kiss somebody and experiencing those feelings.
Right.
And trying to just breathe through the feelings.
Yeah.
Because I didn't always know what they meant. I just knew it created a type of anxiety in me. And we still have to get back to that story about our rule in the beginning and how we got around that and what triggered me.
Yes.
So there was this time we were at a house party and Ed was having this epic makeout session with this woman on the bed. They were just, oh my God. Like the world was ending and kissing was the only thing left on the planet. That's what it looked like to me.
It was a lot of fun. And she was really into it. And she was a very compatible kisser for my style.
Yeah. I still, to this day, can remember it like it was yesterday.
Me too.
So that was very triggering. And I understand now why, but I also had to process that and figure it out. And a lot of it was I was feeling very envious because I wasn't feeling that type of passion. I could see you having that type of passion. I wanted that for myself as well.
Right.
We hadn't got to that place of compersion where I could just sit back and go, oh, look at Ed go. God, look at him. He's just having the time of his life. I wasn't there yet. I mean, we were, a couple months in to the lifestyle?
Yeah. Yeah, we were pretty new, pretty green.
Early on in our relationship, a couple years in. So we hadn't really solidified a lot of things between us.
Plus, if I remember, you and her partner, the mister, hadn't quite hit it off yet.
Yeah.
And the conversation was still a little awkward and off. So
Yeah.
we got compatible fast, and you guys were still catching up.
Yes.
So it was a timing thing too.
Right. So that felt awkward because you guys were on the fast track to going to sex, and I was doing my slow warm-up thing,
Right.
as I always do.
Right.
Slow warmer. So we sat down and we talked about this, and we figured out all this stuff. And I said, okay, so next time, because what am I supposed to do if I get triggered again? It's going to happen. I know it is. And so I asked Ed to just put a limit, consciously, just be aware that to check on me.
Right.
And to maybe come up for air. And it was hard to put a time on that because I didn't know what the time was.
It wasn't an arbitrary time.
It was just an awareness, right?
Yeah. And
just check on me.
Glance over every once in a while, see how things are going.
See if my eyes are popping out of my head. And yeah. And you did do that. And you would look at me, hard. You'd give me eye contact, you'd have love all over your face, and sometimes you'd reach out to me and grab my hand and squeeze it. And I'd say, I'm okay. Or sometimes I'd come in for a kiss and kiss you as well. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'd join in and, I'd kiss her. And then you two would go back to kissing, and then I could watch. And that way I kind of felt like I was part of it, and that you guys were bringing me along at the same speed.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of our early experiences with kind of the feelings of envy and jealousy were really centered around being left out or not being at the same speed as what the rest of the room was.
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't think about that, and they don't realize that their partner's maybe not quite getting the same vibe that you are. And that's something that all partners need to be better about, which is being aware of kind of how well their partner's doing.
Right. And I will hear that from time to time in the room. Women will express, oh, okay, I guess we're going there now.
Right.
And so I already know that's what that means. And they're like, he's, him and her husband is hot to trot with somebody else, but she's not ready yet.
Right.
And she's like, wow, that, the race car has left the...
You walked in the room, you pulled the condom out, and you're
gone.
You're off to the races. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of pressure in the beginning, that speed, one person being way more comfortable and getting around the track faster than me.
Yeah. And so that was sort of our no kissing rule, but it was more about the intimacy that was involved with kissing and the timing of everything, and just making sure that people weren't being left out. And we've had that same sense with full swap before too.
Oh yeah.
Where, one partner's just raring to go.
Yes.
And, you're still doing the preliminaries, the foreplay part.
Right.
That's challenging to get through, especially when you're brand new to the lifestyle, where you don't quite have your compersion feelings ready. You're not there yet. And even after you have a lot of experience, sometimes you'll have evenings where you're just not feeling it.
Right.
And you're like, not tonight.
Yep.
So the beginning of this, where we were listing off all of those negative comments about jealousy and red flags, there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah.
So much more to it than that.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave it at that, because this could easily turn into an internet rant about swinger groups on the internet.
Yeah. And we obviously worked through it.
Yeah.
We
had conversations about it for sure.
We didn't offend anybody. We weren't wearing the scarlet letter in the swinger community. We weren't, it was.
Yeah, we worked around it. We figured out our own path for it, and we didn't make it anybody else's problem. It was our thing to work out.
Yeah. And, we didn't create any drama, or, a lot of people like to throw around the word drama, whatever that is. It's a discussion between two people. If you don't like hearing personal discussions between two people, then just step away. It's not a big deal. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think there are a lot of missed opportunities, and I'm hoping that this helped other people gain some insight as to all the other great options that you might be missing out on when you encounter a couple that has a no swinger or well, that would be a totally different thing if they had a no swinger rule. That would be a no-go. But a no kissing rule,
Yeah.
So
remember, the journey of exploring intimate connections and understanding diverse perspectives is an ongoing process. By embracing empathy, respect, and open-mindedness, we can foster a more inclusive and understanding environment for all individuals, regardless of their choices regarding kissing in the swinger lifestyle.
Until next time.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.